Megyn Kelly, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm good. How did you do it last night? Because I have to do it in a couple of weeks, and I don't have the patience.
I know. I'm excited that you're going. You know, it was a very interesting experience. I did not know what to expect. I had never done this with Charlie or otherwise, but he and I had been set to do it together at Virginia Tech. And, you know, frankly, I wasn't sure whether Turning Point would continue forward with the tour or not, obviously, given what happened. And when they said we're doing it, of course, I said I'll be there. And so I didn't know what to expect, especially without Charlie. You know, when I agreed to do it originally, I was like, okay, I'll have Charlie there. So Glenn Youngkin was there, too. He was terrific. He kind of opened up and was perfectly on message, just like a message of faith. That guy's got such a great future ahead of him. In any event, I went out there, and the questions, Glenn, were so diverse. I mean, one guy asked me which Star Wars trilogy was the best, the first three or the Revenge of the Sith. Another person asked me, would you rather be a human with a pineapple brain or a pineapple with a human brain?
Jeez.
And then we started to get into, you know, politics and Trump, and we had a couple of adversarial questions, which was fun. And but for the most part, I would say I'm sure it's just because it's so close to Charlie's death. It was students who loved him, students who wanted to hear more of his kind of messaging, and students who wanted to be reassured about their own future, the future of the Turning Point movement, and of course, how to handle far leftism all over their college campus.
So do you think this is kind of a setup? I mean, I think, 10 days after the shooting of Charlie Kirk, that was the left on their best behavior. And it wasn't good behavior, but it was better than what I think is now happening and what is coming. And, I've been talking about what's happening in South Korea, and it looks like something we should really pay attention to, because it looks like the playbook they're going for, cause so much chaos that the government has to respond. And when you're causing the chaos, keep saying they're authoritarians, they're fascists, they're going to lock everything down. And when there's no choice but to lock it down, then they say, see, and then the whole thing is on fire. Where do we go from here? What has changed? What's going back to normal? What is normal now when it comes to this kind of stuff?
I mean, I want to preface my remarks by saying, like you, I imagine, I'm in sort of a weird place mentally still after the Charlie assassination. And I think the kids call it based. Others might call it radicalized, but I just have a pretty clear and strong view of what our side needs to do next. I'm not sure about the left, and I'm not even sure I care to spend much time thinking about them.
Yeah.
I really feel more strongly than ever that I don't care what they call us. We need to make them suffer, not physically, but with lawfare and even with some censorship in order to get things back to normal.
What's the line on that? What's the line on that?
So we do need people to have actually committed crimes in order to go after them. We cannot have, I was not a fan of the President Trump tweet at Pam Bondi, or whether that was a DM or whatever. If Pam Bondi doesn't find actual crimes, she should not indict anybody.
Correct.
But if she finds crimes, our days of looking the other way are done. Our days of being benevolent, of saying, to heal the nation, we're not going to indict Hillary Clinton. No.
Agree.
No.
Agree.
We've got to get tough.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in the minority, but I'm totally in favor of what Brendan Carr did last week. 100% in favor.
So I am too. And I felt I was alone.
Good.
I am too.
Good. Glenn, they have to feel our pain. Why, whenever we're in control, do we take the high ground only to get beaten to a pulp again once they're back in control? And we continue to say, these are our principles. We're going to live them in order to make clear to everybody we really hold them. And then they just get used against us.
Well,
no.
I don't.
You know what? Now we've had a whole week of these leftists saying the things we say about censorship and big government and free speech. And at least now we have them on record, and they learned. So when they use it against us, the next time they're in power, we've got the receipts.
I'm just not going to. I'm not going to change my principles, but I am not going to play by the rules that they're not playing by. You're not going to not play by the rules and then say to me, "You got to play by the rules." Screw you. Yes, I'm going to play by the rules, but I'm going to use every rule we have to shut your nonsense down.
Amen. I couldn't agree more. It's about tactics. You and I haven't moved at all on our principles. We hate lawfare. We hate government censorship. We don't believe hate speech is problematic. It's perfectly legal. It's constitutional. It's kind of why the First Amendment was invented.
Yes.
However, it's the left that's drifted from those principles, not us. And now the question is, how do we wrestle the country back to stasis, back to the old stasis prior to the left losing its mind? And I am really just firmly of the belief now that they must be brought to heel. Again, not with physical violence, but with the same tactics in terms of policy and approach in governing that they use against us.
Well,
I see that as very clearly the only way forward.
I just can't take they did everything they could to destroy me. They did everything they could to destroy you. I mean, it's a long line of all of us that they've done. And then they get a little boo-boo on their knee for 5 days, and all of a sudden, Hitler is in office. I can't.
Yeah.
Wow, you had to sit at home making your $30 million for 5 days. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel picturing his life not under the Klieg lights, Glenn. He couldn't take it. And those tears out on that stage were for him. What a joke, that crying, whiny baby. He has celebrated everyone on the rights cancellation.
Yep.
He danced on our professional graves. And he has the nerve to want us to feel sorry for him because he had a 5-day paid vacation. We don't.
Yeah. Where is he with Roseanne? Where was he on Roseanne? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
Glenn,
and they took her show away. They destroyed her.
Okay. Destroyed Roseanne. And people defended Jimmy by saying he's a comedian. So's Roseanne.
Yeah, I know.
No one defended her. None of them.
Nobody.
But let me take my situation because it happens to be apt here. When I got canceled at NBC for literally asking a question about blackface Halloween costumes and when it went, why when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, you could wear those, like if you wanted to honor Diana Ross or Michael Jordan, and not get canceled. But clearly in the 2000s, things had changed. And that was my question. I got me canceled at NBC. Did Jimmy Kimmel at the time come out and say, you know what, this is BS? I've got to admit, I wore blackface many times. Jimmy did, not me. That I've worn it repeatedly as Karl Malone. I wore it as Oprah in a fat suit, darning socks. When I was Karl Malone, I basically spoke in Ebonics, mocking black people. So this is wrong, what you're doing to her, NBC. I don't support this. He didn't say a word. He let me twist in the wind. Why should any of us feel sorry for him? He's totally pro the cancellation of anybody whose politics he doesn't share. So I'm thrilled he felt some pain last week. His show is inflated now because of the controversy, but it will go back to its middling ratings. And then ABC will almost certainly cancel it, but now they've got to put a little distance between today and that day.
Let me talk about your tour, because you invited me to come out on your tour on Saturday, October 25th at the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. What are you doing on your tour?
Mm-hmm. So I went on Tucker Carlson's tour as a guest last fall.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I had never done that before. It was so fun, Glenn.
Yeah.
And that tour promoter was like, you should do this. I'm like, you know what? I should do this. I don't get out enough. And I was so energized, like seeing our viewers and our fans and our listeners out there. It was just good for the soul. So that's what made me do it. And it's just a 10-city tour. It's not huge. Could have been double that. And I was like, I don't have the energy and I'm a mom and that's too much for me. But 10 I could do. So we picked some of our top cities and got some of our top people like you. And we're just going to go out and we're going to tape. It's basically we're going to tape an episode, but we're going to put a bunch of, bells and whistles around it and make it, I hope, super fun, intellectually stimulating, rowdy, and just a good time for the audience to come out and have a moment of levity and celebration.
I will tell you, I think this is what I enjoyed about the Tucker tour, and I think it's going to be even more so with yours, is it just felt good to be in a group of a lot of people where you could relax and you could just be yourself and, just enjoy company of other people that, think like you do without all of the hatred and everything else. Just enjoy yourselves.
Oh, so true, Glenn. It reminds me in 2012, I was at the Republican National Convention, and I was a straight news person at the time, so I wasn't wearing my politics on my sleeve. But Ann Coulter walked into one of the back rooms where the Fox people were all getting ready. And I said, how you doing, Ann? And she said, I'm great. I'm in a sea of Republicans. I totally got it and get it even more so today. Yeah. Same.
Megyn, what was your takeaway from the weekend? We were both there in Phoenix. What is the lasting? Is it lasting? What is the lasting thing you take away from all of this?
If there's two words I remember from that day that'll stay with me, they are Charlie's Army. That phrase really grabbed me. And I do think that's what's been unleashed. These kids on these college campuses, the applications are up to, I think Andrew Colvett said, 122,000 now?
That's crazy.
122,000 Turning Point chapters. There were 2,000 the day Charlie died. 2. I mean,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yes. There were, I think, 900 college campuses and 1,100 high schools. And now we're up to 122,000. It's crazy how many young people feel motivated to say, these are my values, and I'm no longer going to hide them or apologize for them. That's a sea change. You know, I just think Charlie's Army will be a lasting legacy of Charlie Kirk. He said he wanted Turning Point to outlive him. None of us thought it would happen this soon, but he would be so proud. And I also think, you know, like Frank Turek, who spoke at the funeral, he actually came on last Friday, and he said, and he's a man of faith, and he argues Catholic doctrine very effectively and was one of Charlie's mentors on it, on Christian doctrine. And he said, if you went to Charlie and said, Charlie, you're going to have to make this sacrifice. It's going to be incredibly painful for Erica and your children and your dearest friends and family. But you are going to inspire a whole generation of new evangelists, of new people of faith, of new Republican voters, of new and outspoken conservatives on campus. Your life's work has been achieved at age 31. He said, Charlie would have said, sign me up. And I believe that, Glenn.
I do too.
That was my takeaway from the weekend.
I do too. How do we get tickets to your tour?
Just go to MegynKelly.com. Megyn with a Y, Megyn, because Linda did not know how to spell.
Megyn, I look at you and everybody that does what you do in a different way since Charlie's death. I kind of look at you as a firefighter. You're putting your boots on and you're running into the burning building, not away from it. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. So God be with you. Stay safe.
Back at you, my friend. Much love.
You bet.